Joining us now with reaction is Kayleigh McEnany. Kayleigh, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us tonight. These are pretty stunning revelations tonight about Jon Ossoff. Now, listen, we've known Raphael Warnock's history. I don't need to say about Raphael Warnock. Just listen to Raphael Warnock talk about Raphael Warnock. How do you gauge the state of the race right now? How do you feel the candidates stack up? Do we have a decent shot down there in either or both of the races?
Yes, we do. These candidates, you cannot get worse than Jon Ossoff and Raphael Warnock. Look, the things that you just listed out should be disqualifying. But on top of all of that, especially with Raphael Warnock, on top of everything you just listed, you have a guy who invited Fidel Castro to come speak at his church, who has praised Marxism, who has praised Jeremiah Wright, who has said anti-Semitic and anti-American things, who has said you cannot serve God in the military, and who has said our police officers are thugs. Any one of those things individually is disqualifying. In totality, this is someone who should never be a candidate for the United States Senate. And Jon Ossoff as well, 83% of his donations from out of the state of Georgia, hiding donations from a Chinese media-run company. These are people who are compromised by China. We can't have another Eric Swalwell. Therefore, we cannot have Jon Ossoff. And Perdue and Loeffler are the only palatable choice to the American people and to Georgians.
You know, and the thing I said about Warnock, I meant, don't take Dan Bongino's word for Warnock. Just listen to Warnock himself. Kayleigh, this stuff is all on video. The Fidel Castro thing, I mean, socialism worked so well for the Democrats in Florida in the 2020 election where they got annihilated and lost, double-digit percentage points down in Miami-Dade here in Florida where they used to do much better. But he's on tape. This stuff's all on video. We don't have to speculate about it. It's out there for you to see. Welcoming Fidel Castro? This guy was a murderer in your church. You can go see it on video. That's all out there.
That's right. This is next level leftism. It's all out there. This is another AOC and perhaps even worse than AOC, if that's even possible. And on top of that, you've got this scandal at this church camp that he ran where this victim has spoken out who this horrible thing happened to him where he was doused with urine and locked outside the camp doors. It is absolutely despicable. This individual should not be running for any sort of office. And this is why, Dan, it is so important. There are flaws in Georgia's election system. Make no mistake about it. The consent decree by Stacey Abrams is horrible. It has not been an election with integrity when you look at President Trump's election there. But that's why we have to overwhelm the system. The answer is more Trump voters showing up to embrace these candidates, not fewer. We cannot, the stakes are too high. We cannot have these two individuals anywhere near the levers of power.
Kayleigh, can I get a candid assessment from you where we are right now with the 2020 election? Listen, we all know there was fraud. The only question is what level of fraud. There's no question there was fraud in the election, okay? No sane person would say otherwise. The question is what level of fraud. Now, so far, I see three potential avenues here. We have Pennsylvania, who just rewrote their election rules unconstitutionally. You have unprecedented levels of low rejection rates in an election with all these mail-in ballots. And you have also these odd roll-off numbers where people voted unprecedented numbers for Biden at the top of the ticket, but nobody else beneath the ticket. Where do we stand here on the 2020 election and some, at least, evidence we have of malfeasance or misfeasance?
Sure. Look, for 10 months, this president sounded the alarm bells about mass mail-in voting. This was not something that was happening behind the scenes. It's something that happened in plain sight when you had Democrat secretaries of states lawlessly rewrite the laws, use a pandemic to create an electoral epidemic with mass mail-out voting, elimination of signature match, allowing blue counties to cure their ballots but not red counties. This happened in the places where it needed to happen, which is why the four metros, the only four where Joe Biden outperformed Hillary Clinton, were Philadelphia, Milwaukee, Atlanta, and Detroit, the four he needed in the four key states. So this happened, Dan, but it happened in plain sight. It is very difficult to undo on the back end, and this was a real failure of our judiciary system to untangle this and to allow it to happen on the front end.
Kayleigh, can I get a quick comment from you on this, too? Don't you find it odd, you having dealt with the media and been on other networks before, how, the liberal media is pushing for a quick concession here? These are the same people who pushed the pee-pee hoax and the collusion hoax to us for 4 years and still haven't conceded the 2016 election. So you find that a little odd like I do?
Oh, yeah, and they actually won Pulitzers off of their fake Russia collusion hoax over at the New York Times and the Washington Post. It is odd that we can't ask questions. It was a never-before-tried election system that went into place here. We can't ask questions, but they can peddle fake news, false stories, conspiracies, and win Pulitzers when it's all said and done.
No, it's pathetic. Hey, Kayleigh, thanks a lot. We always appreciate your comments. Thanks for coming on.